Okay, so we got teacher Mark here, and with me is.
A teacher Rhezel. So we're here right now to discuss a new topic.
Okay, the topic is about the southeast region of the United States. Okay, you ready?
So we have here some keywords. Okay, all these words we're going to use this to our story later. So we have the first word, delta. So the meaning of delta is an area of lowland along Mississippi. Okay, so could you please
Okay,
read
so
the example?
one example of delta is the Mississippi River Delta. It's the place where the river empties into the Gulf of Mexico. It means the river meets the ocean. Okay, got it? Okay, next one.
Okay, so we have the wetland. So this is an area of land that is covered by shallow water. So actually we have some pictures in here. Okay. So this first picture is delta and the second one is the wetland. So as you can see, you can find some plants also with our wetland.
Okay, so wetlands. Okay, so one example of wetland is the Everglades in Florida. It's a huge wetland area. It's usually like a marshy, wet area where various kinds of animals live and plants as well. Okay, and
Okay.
for the next one, Rhezel.
Alright, so let's move on to the next word, which is bio. Okay, so one will say bio, area of water in southern US. Okay.
So one example of that, okay, one example of bayou is, okay, here, listen, alligators live in the bayous of Mississippi. Okay, so what is the difference between bayou and wetlands? Oh, bayous are usually like a stagnant water. It barely moves, which is, in the wetland, on the other hand, it's a little bit marshy. It's a little bit, muddy. Okay, so that's the difference between bayous and wetlands.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so let's move on to our next word, which is agriculture. Okay, so one will say agriculture. I guess this word is, I'm not sure if it's really famous or uh, most students are studying this kind of subject. Okay, so one will say agriculture is a science or occupation of farming.
Okay, so agriculture is how many Southerners make a living. Okay, so how do we explain, or what do we mean by the word agriculture? Okay, so agriculture is a way of making money. Okay, so it's all about farming, whether it's fishing, planting plants, or raising livestock. Okay, and the next one.
All right, so we have the cash crop. Okay, so when we say cash crop, of course, a crop that is grown to be sold rather than for use. So some examples of that are cotton or tobacco.
Okay, so these kinds of crops are very important in the south of America. Okay, these are one of their number one products.
All right.
Okay, for the next word, what do we got?
Okay, so the next word is irrigation. So it's a process of watering of land by artificial means, of course, to foster the plant growth.
Okay, so nowadays there are other ways of watering plants. Okay, some people in the United States they use helicopters or choppers or even like dusters. Okay, but yeah, still nowadays a lot of people are still using the old ways, which we call irrigation. So it's like a man-made small creek which distributes water throughout the land. Okay, and the next one might be.
Okay, so we have here Bible Belt. Okay, so one would say Bible Belt, that is an area characterized by strong religious movement.
Okay, so yeah, that's Bible Belt. So as you know, around the world or all over the globe, there are tons of religions nowadays, namely like Christians, Islam, and other else. Okay, so a place where religion is commonly or mostly uh, popular, so we call it Bible Belt. Okay, and for number 8.
Okay, so we have segregation. It's a process of separating something. And so since our topic is all about Southeast, so it's more on separating between our Black American people and white American people. So let's discuss about that later on to or with our story.
Okay, so there's nothing more to add about it. And the next one might be civil rights. Okay.
Okay, so civil
Could you
rights. So
explain?
when we say civil rights, of course that is our own right. So regardless with our races or uh, sex or what we so called religion.
Okay, so that's how we obey the rules. Okay, it's our uh, okay, it's our rights and our obligations as well to our society. Okay, and the last one would be boycott.
Okay, so speaking of that, that means to refuse to buy or to use something as a way of protesting.
Okay, so for example, during a boycott, people refuse to buy or use a company's products or services.
Yes, that's
Okay.
one of the example. Okay.
So now we will go to the passage, I believe.
Okay, next page. Let's see. Okay.
Oh yeah, we still have some phrases here. Okay.
Power verbs. So we have the first one. Okay, here flow into and empty into. Okay, so they're just similar phrases. Okay, so we have here an example.
Okay, so the Mississippi River flows into the Gulf of Mexico. And the second one is the Mississippi River empties into the Gulf of Mexico. So
Yes.
as you can see, they are just the same.
Yes, okay.
Okay,
Alright.
and the next one.
Next one is segregate and integrate. Alright, so in this part, as you can see, segregate here is to separate, and this one integrate means to combine. Alright.
Okay, so in these examples, okay, so we have blacks and whites were segregated in the past, and blacks and whites are integrated today. So they are almost opposite.
Okay, opposite. Alright, so we have here for our boycott, we have an example.
Okay, so many blacks boycotted the buses in Montgomery, Alabama in the 1950s. Okay, so that's one example.
Alright, so we already discussed these words, so let's move on with our word families. Okay, so the first one is tributary. So tributary is the same as with our bio. Okay, so that's why we call that word families.
Okay, so it means they are connected. So one example of that is the Mississippi River has many smaller tributaries that flow into it.
Okay, so let's move on to our next word, which is a source. So what was a source? Something that provide what is needed.
Okay, so one example of that is a river's source is the place where it starts. Okay, it
Yes.
means it's the head of the river.
Alright, that's right. So the next one is mouth. So another word for it is the opening of something.
Okay, so the mouth of the Mississippi River is in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes, or what we call the opening of Mississippi River.
So just remember, not only rivers have mouths, so animals and other things has mouths as well, which is used for eating, for speaking, and for many other things.
Alright, so let's move on, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have here some states in the southeast. So the first one is Arkansas
Okay, and the second one is Mississippi,
and Kentucky,
Georgia,
South Carolina,
and the North Carolina,
Virginia,
West Virginia,
Louisiana,
Tennessee,
Alabama.
and Florida.
Alright, so those are cities you can find in southeast part of America. Alright, so let's move on to our geographical features. The
Okay,
first
what do
one.
you mean by the word geographical? Okay, it's a land mass. Okay, it's a big area of land. Okay, it could be a mountain, it could be a valley, okay, or any other things. Okay, now let's start with mountain range.
The next one is a river,
Okay, wetland,
fertile soil,
Mississippi River,
Tennessee River,
and Potomac River.
Okefenokee Swamp.
Okay, so that's it.
Alright, so let's next. Alright, so we have here checkup. So all we have to do right now is just to skip the first
Okay,
part. So let's move on to letter B. So complete the sentences. So we have here the first number.
Okay, so let's read it. So the
Okay.
Everglades in Florida is a huge blank area. So what do you think might be the right answer for this?
Yes. Okay, but before that, Teacher Mark, we have some comments from Kim to teachers. Wow, oh, thank you so much.
Okay, appreciate it.
I live in
Okay, now let's go back to our discussion. So the Everglades in Florida is a huge blank area. So here in the box we have some choices, which are civil rights,
cash crop,
bayou,
irrigation,
segregation,
boycott,
delta,
wetland,
agriculture.
and Bible Belt.
So which one do you think is the best answer?
Alright,
Okay, so the answer for number one is, what is it?
wetland. Of
Okay, so the
course.
Everglades in Florida is a huge wetland area. Okay, let's proceed to
Alright.
number two.
So, I want to know also if they got correct answer, which is wetland. I hope you made it.
Okay.
Alright, so for number
Let's
two,
proceed.
the Mississippi River blank is where the river empties into the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so what do you think is the answer for number two?
Okay, and wetland is out of the choices. Okay, so teacher Rhezel, what do you think is the best answer for this?
Alright, so it's delta because it's an area of lowland. Okay,
Okay, it's a
as
lowland area.
what we have discussed earlier, so Mississippi River delta is where the river empties into the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay, hope our friends got the right answer too. Okay, for number three, alligators live in the blank in Mississippi. Okay, so the choices left are civil rights, cash crop, bayou, irrigation, segregation, boycott, agriculture, and Bible Belt.
Alright, so thank you so much, Kim, for commenting.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have one answer here, bio.
Okay,
Okay, and you got the correct answer, Kim, and also Yulan Fa.
okay,
Alright, that's right.
that's a good job. Job well done. Okay, so for number four, okay, would you please read it?
Alright, so cotton and tobacco are important blank in South or in the South rather.
Okay, so what might it be? Okay, so we still have civil rights, cash crop, bayou, irrigation, segregation, boycott, agriculture, and Bible Belt.
Okay,
Okay.
so what is your answer? We're still waiting for an answer from our viewers. Okay, I guess we have to answer this.
Okay, so the right answer for this is cash crop.
That is
Okay.
correct. Alright,
Okay,
next
let's proceed to
number.
number five. Okay,
So-
farmers use blank methods to bring water to their crops.
I guess some places here in our country use this kind of method.
Yes, absolutely.
Alright, so what's the answer for number five? Alright, so
nobody?
the answer for number five is irrigation.
Okay, that's it.
Right.
So irrigation.
Alright?
Okay, now let's proceed with number six. Okay, blank is how many Southerners make a living. Okay, it's a way of living. So which one do you think is it? Okay, so we still have civil rights, bayou, no, we still have bayou? No, sorry. Irrigation, segregation, boycott. Okay, we don't have irrigation, so we still have civil rights, segregation, boycott, bayou, delta, and Bible Belt.
Yes,
If I'm
and
right.
agriculture as
And
well.
agriculture as well. Sorry for that. Okay, so which one do you think is the best answer for this?
Okay, so yes, Kim has the correct answer,
Okay,
which is
congratulations.
agriculture.
Okay, so for the next one, would you please read it?
So for number seven, many blacks
Oh,
fought for their blank in the 1960s. Okay, so what is your answer for number seven?
okay, it's about history. So
Yeah.
who knows about American history?
So
Let's see
it's
who
all
is
about
studying.
our own rights.
Yeah, totally.
So what would be the answer for number seven? Okay,
Okay,
Kim
you always
again.
got the right
okay,
answer.
she got the right answer. Oh, she's really smart.
You must be studying a lot.
Okay, civil rights.
Okay, let's proceed to number 8.
Maybe she's not sleeping anymore because of studying. Okay, so for number eight,
Eight?
the last number.
Okay, blank is the dividing of people because of race or gender.
Okay. Alright, so
What do you think is the best answer? So we still have some choices left. Okay.
Alright, so the dividing or separating of people.
Yes, Kim, you are very pretty based on your picture.
Yes, really, I agree with that, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the correct answer for number 8 is segregation.
Oh, you got it right again. One more time. So
My god.
which makes you even prettier. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
so
proceed to letter C.
alright. So number 1, the Mississippi River blank into the Gulf of Mexico. Is it gross
Or empties. Okay, which one is the right answer?
A?
Okay, nobody. Okay, so the Mississippi River empties into the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes, that is right.
Okay, oh, you still got the right answer, huh?
Okay.
Okay, and we have a new viewer. Okay, that's nice. Welcome.
And number 2, blacks and whites were blank in the past. So we're talking about the past. So we have an option here, integrated and segregated. So which one is the best answer for this number? Okay, let's see. Oh, racist?
No.
Oh, we only have 2 options. That is out of our choices here.
Okay, so we're not being racist here. We're just having a good time learning English. Okay, that's it. Segregated.
Yes.
Okay, we're talking
Kim
about in the
again
past.
got the correct answer.
Okay. So let's proceed to number 3. Blacks and whites are integrated or segregated today. So which one do you think is the best answer?
Okay, we're waiting. Oh, okay, let's just answer this number.
Okay, so it's the opposite of segregated. So they are integrated or they are
Yes,
combined.
that's
these days.
right. Okay, so let's move on now for number 4.
Okay, would you read it?
Many blacks blanked the buses in Montgomery, Alabama in 1950s. So we have there the 2 options. Please choose one.
Okay, we have vetoed and boycotted. Okay, so which one do you think is the best answer? Okay.
Okay, so Kim got the correct answer also.
Okay, that's nice.
So let's
proceed
move on.
to the next page. Okay, so we have the pictures here. So in the first picture, okay, it's an area of very wet, muddy land with wild plants growing in it. So what do you call this place?
Yes, what do you call this? Okay, so as you can see earlier, we have there some pictures. We'll let you see some pictures. So I guess,
Is this a bayou?
right? Or is this a wetland?
Okay, it's a wetland because it's a stagnant water. Okay, it contains a muddy land with wild plants and a lot of certain species of animals that we can only find in wetlands.
Alright, so we have here picture
Okay,
number
Mulan
2.
got the right answer. Congratulations.
Okay.
Now let's proceed to number 2. A crop that is grown to be sold for money. Okay, what do we call it?
Yes, we have their pictures, so you have a clue.
Okay, we're waiting. Oh, that's okay, Kim.
You still have more numbers here to guess.
Okay.
So for number 2, we have.
Okay, so it's called cash crop.
Yes,
Okay, so
that
it's
is correct.
kind of plants that we use for money. We grow them to be harvested for money. Okay.
Okay, so for number 3, the rights of people to be treated equally whatever their race or gender. Okay, this is our own right.
Yeah,
So
of course.
what do you call this? So what it is further. Okay, so yes,
civil rights. Okay.
that is correct. Civil rights. Okay,
It's
so
impressive. Last number.
so the act of refusing to buy or use a company's products or services.
Oh,
What is that? What is the answer for number 4?
Okay, so the answer for this is
Boycott, of
okay.
course.
That's it.
All right. So the last one.
Okay,
For this
Mulan got it
topic.
right again. Boy Scout. Boy Scout is a different thing. It's what kids do. Okay, now let's proceed with the passage. Okay, so the title is The Civil Rights Movement. Okay, can you please read it with me? Okay, so let's start. For many years, people in the South owned black African slaves. In the 1860s, the United States fought the Civil War because of slavery. During the war, all the slaves were freed, but there were still many problems between blacks and whites. There was a lot of discrimination against blacks. This means they were not treated fairly. Also, blacks and whites in the South were segregated, so they ate at separate restaurants. They went to separate schools, and they even sat in separate places on buses. But in the 1950s, the civil rights movement began in South. Okay, blacks began demanding equal treatment. The most famous leader of the movement was Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, blacks often organized boycotts of different places. They had sit-ins at restaurants where they weren't allowed to eat. King tried to use non-violence, okay, but the police and others often used violence against blacks. Still, in 1964, the Civil Rights Act was passed. It guaranteed equal rights for people of all colors. Okay, that's it.
Okay, black really had
Okay,
difficulty
so I
during
hope
that
you
time.
are, I hope you guys were following. Okay, so it's a story of like the American history in the South. Okay,
Yes.
so I hope you guys had a good time listening and watching our video. And we hope that you learned things,
Yeah.
several things, or a lot of things in our class. Okay, and that's it.
All right. So